I thought it was very informative and instructional, entertaining as well.
They had better come see it. It's great.
It's an excellent presentation of all aspects of falling.
I thought it was wondrous for all of us, and it can help us to stay alive longer too.
Oh, it was just wonderful. As you get older, you have falls, and you can think about what you're going to do, and this prepares you for that.
Very informative on how to safely fall.
Oh, definitely. Get information for this, because everyone goes through this sometime or another. Whether you trip over your kids' toys or going downstairs.
I thought it was very instructive. I learned a lot of ways how to fall.
And how to recover once you're down.
Because I was taking care of my 96-year-old mother and didn't know how to get her up. I volunteered for a hospice. We weren't allowed to help anybody up because we didn't have the right techniques and we were told not to. So this has been great.
I think it'd be a good investment in protection for themselves and loved ones to be aware of fall prevention as well as how to handle a fall. Very, very well done.
When I started this, my balance was very, very poor. I was in danger all the time of falling and occasionally did. And now I'm strong and I'm in good balance and I walk every day and I have a good time in life because I'm not thinking about dying, I'm thinking more about living and enjoying it. Well, the results I've achieved is a great, massive improvement in my balance. My strength is stronger, especially my legs and arms, so that I don't fall because I'm strong enough to recover when I do have problems. And I'm now much more relaxed because I don't have to worry about falling, and my arms are stronger so that if I should fall, I can get up now and I won't have any trouble doing it. I learned a lot about my physical structure, which muscles I need to use, which muscles I need to exercise regularly. And I also learned how to fall safely. I learned how to get up with help or without help. In almost any place I don't worry about it anymore because I know I can get up. That's because I've learned how to do it and because I'm stronger. And I have a really good time exercising. I look forward to it because it's a fun time. Not a straight face, but it's serious and it solved my problem. You could really prolong your life and feel good while you're doing it because it gives you a lot of confidence that you know what to do. Get off your rear end and get with it because it's really worth it. I exercise all together, both at home and here in the gym, about an hour a day, plus I walk some, and I get all the other 22 and some hours to be well and happy and enjoying life.
Hello, my name is Tim Rabatoy. I'm a strength and conditioning specialist and the creator of the Falling Solution System. I'll be your host today. This is the most complete resource on falling skills, fall recovery techniques, and fall prevention exercise and conditioning available anywhere in the world. I'd like to welcome you to the Falling Solution System. Welcome to Fall Prevention Techniques. So far in the video we've talked about how to fall down, how to check yourself for injuries after a fall, how to move on the floor, and how to get back up. The next portion of the video will be focused on minimizing your chances of falling and preventing falls from happening in the first place. Fall prevention techniques is broken up into 4 different parts. In part 1, I'll take you through a detailed fall prevention checklist where you can identify falling risk factors and environmental hazards for falling. Part 2, you'll learn how to properly adjust and use canes and walkers for safety. In part 3, I'll show you how to pick the right pair of shoes for fall prevention, and I'll show you 8 ways you can check your shoes for balance before you buy them. And in part 4, we'll talk about the importance of exercise in fall prevention. Part 1, the falling prevention checklist, is coming up next. Welcome to the Fall Prevention Checklist. In this part of the section, I'll take you through a detailed list of falling risk factors, including environmental risk factors and personal risk factors that can help you make the little changes that you need to minimize your chances of falling. About half of all falls happen around the house, and about 1/3 of them involve environmental hazards at home. The first part of the checklist will focus on how to make your environment safer for falls. Okay, we'll talk about your floors first. Number 1, throw rugs. Now, throw rugs are a particularly dangerous thing to have around the house, especially if they don't have a sticky bottom or sticky tape that holds them down. Your feet can slide on them, and they can also get stuck underneath them. So make sure throw rugs at home are securely fastened to the floor, or get rid of them altogether. Number 2, is there any stuff on your floors that doesn't need to be there? Like magazines and boxes, shoes, any kind of clutter is going to increase your chances of falling. So make sure you remove anything that doesn't need to be on your floors out of the way. Number 3, are there any cords or wires that you might trip on your floors? Make sure to wrap cords or wires out of the footpath and as close as you can to the wall to make sure you don't trip on them. Also, make sure you don't have any wires that you have to step over in your home. Number 4, do you have to walk around your furniture as you move through some of your rooms? What you want to make sure to do for fall prevention is make sure that you make unobstructed and clear walking paths so you don't trip over your furniture, especially at night. Number 5, is the carpet on your floors loose or torn instead of being tight? Remember that carpet is a dangerous falling hazard if it's not pulled nice and tight to the wall or if there's any holes in it. So make sure you make any repairs to your carpet that are necessary around the home. On to the kitchen. Number 6, do you have anything stored in your kitchen like spices or anything else that's stored high up that you have to get on a footstool to get? Make sure to move anything down that you use normally down to a reachable height, a safe height, so you don't have to get up on a footstool to reach things. Number 7, if you do use a step stool, make sure that it's stable and secure. You don't want to get up on a step stool that's starting to get rickety. It'll go out on you and you'll fall from a much higher distance. So if you have a step stool at home, if it's not stable, either repair it or get rid of it right now and get a new one. Number 8, do you have slippery mats on your kitchen floors? Now, most kitchen floors are made of a different material than the rest of the home. A lot of them are a little more slippery. So if you have mats in there, make sure they're stuck securely to the floor, make sure they don't slide out from underneath you, and make sure that your feet don't get stuck underneath them. On to the bathroom. Number 9, is your shower or tub floor especially slippery? One of the most dangerous places in the home for falls is inside a wet shower. So if that's the case, make sure to get a nice non-slip mat or a sticky strip to put on the bottom of the shower floor to prevent falls. Number 10, is your toilet too low for you? If the toilet's too low, it'll become very difficult to reach, it'll become difficult to get off. If that's the case, it can become a real danger inside the home. So what you can do is install grab bars to help you down and to help you get back up, or what you can do is put on a modified toilet seat which will raise it up and make it easier for you to reach. Before we go any further, I want to quickly demonstrate how to get up from a low toilet or a low chair or any low position at all. Okay, how to get up from a low position, like a low chair or a low stool. Now, over the years, I've heard people mention this a few times. When they get into a position that's really low and their legs are out in front of them and they go to get up, they realize they can't do it. Remember, your leverage is not very good in that position. So here's what I suggest. The best way to get up from a low position is actually to spread the legs apart Scoot back a little bit. You're going to use your arms on this one. You're going to put them between your legs. What you want to remember is that your body always follows your head, okay? So here's the technique. Legs spread apart, arms in between the legs to push off. What I'm going to do is keep the arms totally straight and then lean forward with the head. One more time. Okay? Legs apart, arms straight right in the middle. I'm going to lean forward with my head, just taking it this way. And you should pop right out of the chair. Okay, this same technique is going to work if you're stuck on a low toilet seat as well, okay? So if you can't get up with your legs in front, all you got to do is slide back on the seat, spread your legs apart, okay, as wide as you can, bring your hands to the middle, and just lean forward with your head, and you should come right up. Number 11, do you feel safe standing and moving in the shower? If you don't, what you can do is install some bars next to and inside the shower that you can use while you're moving around in there. Or what you can do is actually put in a shower chair so you can sit in there more comfortably, especially if you get dizzy. Now let's talk about your stairs. Number 12, do you have good lighting at the top and the bottom of your stairs? If you don't, you may not be able to see where you're going with every step, and it's only going to increase your chances of falling. So make sure to have good lighting at the top, the middle, and the bottom of your staircase. Number 13, do you have light switches at the top and the bottoms of your stairs? A lot of older homes only have one or the other. So if you're going up the stairs in the dark or down the stairs in the dark, either way, it's going to increase your chances of falls. So if you can, try to have a light switch put in at the top and the bottom of your stairs. Number 14, do you have handrails for all of your stairs at home? This goes for stairs that are inside and outside the home. You want to make sure to have at least one handrail for each set of stairs that you have to prevent falls. Number 15, is the carpet loose or torn on your stairs? Just like any other carpet in the home, if it's torn or if it's not tight to the wall, it's going to be a falling hazard. So make sure to repair the carpet on your stairs as quickly as possible. Number 16, do you have any broken, loose, or uneven steps? If you do, it will increase your chances of falling. So just like the carpet, try to make sure to make any other repairs to your stairs as quickly as you can. Number 17, is there any clutter or stuff on your stairs that doesn't need to be there? Like magazines, shoes, boxes, papers, anything at all on your stairs will increase your chances of falling as well. So make sure to move anything that doesn't need to be on your stairs out of the way. Number 18, are your steps too steep? For fall prevention, it's been proven that steps should be no higher than 7 inches, and in fact, stairs of about 5 to 6 inches in height are even better. Number 19, are your stairs deep enough? It's been proven for fall prevention that stair treads should be big enough to accept the entire foot. So a minimum of 8 inches is necessary, but 10 to 11 inches for stair depth is better. On to the bedroom. Number 20, is the path from your bed to the bathroom well lit? A lot of falls happen in the middle of the night when people get up to go to the bathroom, they can't quite see where they're going, they trip over something and they fall. So what you want to do is make sure to get a good system of lights from your bed to the bathroom, even if it just includes putting in a couple of night lights that stay on all night. Number 21, is there a light source right next to the bed? If something happens in the middle of the night and you have to get up, you don't want to be moving around in a dark room. So for fall prevention, try to get a light source that's right next to the bed. Number 22, do you have a telephone right next to the bed? It's been proven that a lot of falls occur when people get up in the middle of the night, they go to answer the phone and they're tired and they trip over something and they fall. So putting a phone next to your bed can be a big asset for fall prevention. All right, outside. Number 23, are your outside steps slick or slippery when they get wet? If that's the case, there's paint you can apply to the steps that'll give you more grip, and there's also sticky strips that you can apply to the top of the stairs that'll help with fall prevention. Number 24, is the path from your car to your door well lit? Just like going from your bedroom to the bathroom and wanting to make sure it's well lit, it's exactly the same going from your car to your front door. There's 100 things you can trip on if the light is not right. So try to make sure the path from your car to your door is well lit. Number 25, Are there hoses, tools, or any other kind of clutter on your pathways or your outside steps? Just like your inside pathways and your inside steps, any kind of clutter that's in your way, especially when you're least expecting it, can increase your chances of falling. So try to make sure you clean up all the clutter and keep your pathways on the outside and your outside steps nice and clear. Number 26, are your steps or outside walkways icy in the wintertime? If that's the case, make sure you shovel or get someone to shovel your walkways as soon as you can after a storm, and then lay down salt or a combination of salt and sand on the ice to prevent falls. The last environmental risk factor that I wanted to cover is number 27, animals around the house, like cats and dogs. Every year, falls occur due to people either being knocked over by their larger animals or simply tripping over their smaller animals. So when it comes to animals and fall prevention, you have a couple of important decisions to make. Number one, decide whether or not the animals that you have are safe for you to have in the home. And number two, if they are, what you can also do to make it more predictable is cordon off certain areas of the home where the animals will and won't be. And that'll make a big difference for fall prevention. So we just covered 27 environmental risk factors for falling. The second half of the fall prevention checklist will focus on personal risk factors for falling. Personal risk factor number 1 is vision. Fall prevention and vision are closely related. If your eyesight is poor, your balance, your depth perception, your ability to find hazards and obstacles that are in your way will be decreased. So make sure to take the time, if your eyesight is suffering, take the time to see your eye doctor and get that corrected as soon as possible. Personal risk factor number 2 is hearing. Now, your hearing is also very closely related to your balance. If you're having trouble hearing on one side or the other side or both sides, it will drastically affect your balance and increase your chances of falling. So just like with the eye doctor, make sure to see your ear doctor as well. If they say you need hearing aids, make sure you wear them. It makes a big difference. Personal risk factor for falling number 3 is muscle weakness. The average human loses 1% of their total muscle mass every year after the age of 25. So if you're not doing anything to exercise, if you're not doing anything to maintain your muscle strength, it will continue to go down and your fall risk will continue to go up the more muscle you lose. Personal risk factor number 4 is medication. If you're taking any kind of medications that are making you dizzy or sleepy, your chances of falling down will increase. So make sure you talk to your doctor if you're having any of those side effects and see if they can put you on some kind of an alternative that'll make it safer for you. Personal risk factor number 5 is postural dizziness or postural hypotension. When we sit up or stand up quickly, there's a change in blood pressure that happens that often causes dizziness. Now, if that's happening to you, the most important thing for fall prevention that you can do is basically be aware of it. So know that if sometimes you stand up, you get a little bit dizzy, try to stand up a little bit slower, try to sit up from a lying position a little bit slower, and then make sure you stand next to something you can hold on to in case you get dizzy. Personal risk factor for falling number 6 is balance. Now, there are a lot of different factors that go into balance problems, some of which we've already talked about, like vision and hearing and certain medications. The easiest thing that you can do to improve your balance is a consistent exercise routine that focuses on muscle strength, coordination, and agility. Personal risk factor for falling number 7 is gait or walking pattern. If people develop a walking pattern where their feet are shuffling along the floor instead of lifting, their chances of tripping over a step or tripping over some other kind of obstacle are increased by quite a bit. So there's 2 things you can do. If your feet are shuffling, the first thing you want to do is be aware of it and try to make a conscious effort to lift your feet up higher when you walk and when you step over things. But number 2 is you can also do exercises that will improve your ability to lift your feet. I've included exercises in the bonus sections that'll help you do just that. Personal risk factor for falling number 8 is neuropathy of the feet. As people develop neuropathy of the feet, they start to get a lack of sensation and a numbness throughout the foot and the lower leg, which greatly affects balance and stability. So if you're starting to notice signs of neuropathy or numbness throughout the feet, make sure to talk to your doctor about it right away. Personal risk factor for falling number 9 is advanced age. As we get older, our chances of falling and being seriously injured in a fall increase. Remember that more than half of the people over 80 years old fall every single year. So although there's nothing you can do to change your age, for fall prevention, the most important thing to do is maintain a safe environment and maintain a good, solid exercise routine. Personal risk factor for falling number 10 is disability and disease. If someone has had a stroke, which can cause massive instability, or if they have Parkinson's disease, which can cause balance problems and a shuffling of the feet, or if they have diabetes, which can cause neuropathy of the feet, any of those factors will increase the chances of falling. So depending on what condition you have, you want to maintain your medications, you want to maintain your exercise routine, you want to maintain a safe environment, and then if it applies to you, you also want to make sure you get yourself a good assisted walking device like a cane or a walker, and make sure you use it properly. Personal risk factor number 11 is osteoporosis. Osteoporosis is a condition where the bones become porous and brittle and much more prone to fracture. So if you have osteoporosis, your chances of a major injury when you fall are highly increased. So what you want to do is make sure you get a simple bone scan from the doctor, and also have them check your calcium and your vitamin D levels. Exercise can also be a major factor in preventing and treating osteoporosis. Now there are 3 more major personal risk factors for falling that we haven't covered yet. Number 1 is improper use of assisted walking devices like canes and walkers. Number 2 is improper shoes and footwear, which lead to falls. And number 3 is a lack of exercise. So the next 3 parts of this section will be dedicated to those 3 things. So coming up next, how to properly adjust and use canes and walkers for fall prevention. I'll see you in just a second. Welcome to part 2 of fall prevention techniques, how to adjust and use canes and walkers for safety. As I mentioned in part 1 of this section, improper use of assisted walking devices such as canes and walkers is a major personal risk factor for falling. Every year, there are about 47,000 emergency room visits for fall injuries associated with canes and walkers. And in people 65 and over, walkers are associated with 7 times more fall-related injuries than canes. In this part of the section, I'll show you how to properly adjust and use a cane, then I'll show you how to properly adjust and use a walker for safety. Adjusting and using a cane, coming up next. Okay, how to properly adjust your cane and how to make sure you're using it the right way. Now, I know a lot of people out there have assisted walking devices like canes and walkers and things like that. Here's how to know if the cane is the right height for you. Okay, what you want to do is stand with your arms at your sides, okay, nice and loose, as straight as you can. Put the cane on the ground, and then what you want to see is if the part that you hold on to, the top of the cane, you want that to come right up to that bend in your wrist, the crease in your wrist. Okay, this one is too short for me, so what I'm going to do is unscrew the bottom part. There are these little clickers in here. I'm going to depress the clicker, pull down on the bottom. I'm going to bring it down about 5 or 6 notches, and we'll check again. Okay, it clicks back into the notch. I'm going to screw the bottom back on to make sure it's secure, and then I'm just going to check again. So we'll go through the same exact check. I'm going to put the cane on the ground. I'm going to let my arms relax at my sides. And I want the top of the cane to come right up to that bend in my wrist. Now that's just about right for me, and it feels about right. here's how to make sure you're using it correctly, okay? So if you have an injury, let's say on the left side, you want the cane to be on the right side. So generally speaking, you want the cane to be on the opposite side of the injury. So if I have an injury to my left leg, what I want to do is, as I'm stepping with the left leg, I want to make contact with the cane at the same time on the right side. So I'll step with the right and then walk together with the left. Okay? Going the other way. Together. Right, left, right, left. Coming back the other way. And that's the best way to use a cane. Okay, how to know if a walker is the right height for you. So we just got done covering the cane. It's the same idea with the walker. What you want is the top part of the walker, the part you hold on to come right up to that crease in your wrist. So what you're going to do is have the walker out in front of you, stand nice and straight, or as straight as you can, let your arms hang down to your sides, and then check to see if the part that you're going to hold on to comes up to that bend in your wrist. Okay, when you walk with your walker, you want to try to keep about a 15% bend in your elbow. Okay, so your elbow should be bent at about 15%. When you're moving with the walker, you shouldn't be all bent over, moving like this. You should be nice and straight as possible, with about a 15% bend in your elbow. And that's the safest way to use a walker. Welcome to part 3 of fall prevention techniques, how to choose the right pair of shoes for fall prevention. Wearing sock feet, stockings, going barefoot, wearing high heels, or wearing sandals can drastically increase your chances of falling. A big percentage of fall-related injuries actually happen around the house, and as much as 50% of people that are injured at home are wearing slippers, socks, bare feet, or stockings at the time of their injury. Here's 9 tips on how to choose the right pair of shoes for fall prevention. Number 1, try to wear a pair of shoes that are lower to the ground. If you have a heel on your shoe, it should be half an inch or less. The higher your shoes put you off the ground, the higher your chances of falling. Number 2, try to wear shoes with a non-skid sole. Slick bottom shoes are similar to stockings or socks. They're much more likely to make you slip and fall. Number 3, try to wear stable shoes with a wide contact area. Avoid narrow shoes, open-toed shoes, sandals, and flip-flops. Number 4, try to avoid shoes that cramp your toes. You want to have shoes that are large enough and have enough space for your toes to lie flat and straight. Number 5, try to make sure there is at least half an inch between your longest toe and the end of your shoe. Number 6, if your feet tend to swell up a little bit towards the end of the day, make sure when you're buying shoes and trying on shoes to try them on at the end of the day when your feet are more swollen rather than at the beginning. Number 7, try to avoid shoes that are old, floppy, falling apart, or worn out. Any of those factors is going to increase the chance that the bottom is slick, the tread is gone, and the shoe is unstable. Number 8, according to studies, athletic shoes and sneakers have been shown to be the best at preventing falls when worn both inside and outside the house. Number 9, comfortable, padded, and properly fitting shoes are essential for fall prevention. If you have any questions about how your shoes should fit, make sure to get a professional fitting. Okay, so we've talked about elements and properties to look for in a good pair of shoes for fall prevention. What I want to do next is show you how you can actually test your shoes when they're on your feet. Coming up next is 8 ways to check your shoes for balance before you buy them. How to give your shoes a balance test before you buy them. Now, we've talked about how important it is to have a good pair of shoes for fall prevention. What I'm going to show you next is an 8-point list that you can use when you're actually physically out there looking at a brand new pair of shoes to buy. So next time you have a couple of pairs of shoes that you're looking at, put them through this quick test. Coming up next, part 4 of fall prevention techniques, the importance of exercise for fall prevention. I'll see you in just a second. Welcome to part 4 of fall prevention techniques. In this part of the section, we'll be talking about why exercise is so important for fall prevention. Muscle weakness, loss of balance, loss of agility, loss of coordination, lack of flexibility, and poor posture all combine to increase the chances of falling and serious fall-related injury. The good news is that at any age, you can improve in all of those areas with exercise. Research has proven that for those over 65, strength and balance exercises can reduce the risk of falls by up to 45%. Now, we talked about muscle weakness being a major contributing risk factor for falling. Humans lose muscle mass at a rate of 1% every year after the age of 25. That means if you're 70 years old, you may have lost up to 45% of your total muscle mass. As we get older, the only way to increase muscle mass, to increase strength, and to fight back muscle weakness is through consistent exercise. Just a few hours a week of consistent and specific exercise for fall prevention has been proven to reduce the risk of falls and fall-related injuries. The best exercises for fall prevention focus on the following things: improving muscle strength, improving balance, coordination, and agility, and improving flexibility and posture. For muscle strength exercises for fall prevention, you want to focus on exercises that build strength in the upper and lower legs, strength in the feet and ankles, and strength in the trunk muscles. But you also need to maintain a strong upper body to help you recover from a fall. For balance, coordination, and agility exercises for fall prevention, you want exercises that will help you to stabilize your body in certain positions, but you also want exercises that will mimic the quick changes that you need to make to prevent yourself from falling. Research has also shown that poor posture and poor flexibility can also significantly increase your chances of falling. For every inch of forward head posture, it increases the weight of the head on the spine by an additional 10 pounds. Now, if your head is forward by 4 inches, that's like 40 pounds pulling you forward at all times. Now, the worse your posture is, the harder the rest of the muscles of your body have to fight to keep you in balance. As you do exercises to improve your posture, the more improved your posture becomes, the more centered and stable your body will be, and your balance will improve. With flexibility for fall prevention, the more stiff and inflexible we become, the less fluidly we can react to a falling situation. So a good fall prevention exercise program should definitely contain elements of flexibility for all the major muscle groups as well. One more benefit of exercise, in addition to improving muscle mass, strength, balance, coordination, agility, posture, and flexibility, the right exercises can also help to improve osteoporosis. As we place stress on the muscles and we challenge them by making them work harder than they're normally used to working, they react by growing stronger. The bones actually work very much the same way. As we place stresses on the bones, they react by mineralizing and growing denser and stronger. And the more dense and strong your bones are, the less chance there is of a serious fall-related injury like a spine or a hip fracture. Specific exercise in the vital areas of fall prevention has been shown to be effective for reducing falls with as little as 2 hours of exercise a week and as little as 10 minutes at a time. But here's the problem. 7 out of 10 Americans, 70%, don't do any exercise at all. And it gets worse. We've talked about how muscle weakness and lack of strength and lack of muscle mass is one of the major contributing risk factors for falling. Only about 10% of the people over the age of 65 do any exercise at all to increase muscle strength. Now, I mentioned just a minute ago how as little as 2 hours of fall prevention exercise a week can reduce your chances of falling. If you only exercise 2 hours a week, that's only 4 days of total exercise for your entire year. Out of all the other factors that we've talked about for fall prevention, exercise has been shown to be the most effective in preventing falls, and it's also one of the factors that you have the most control over. The more specific fall prevention exercise that you do, the stronger, the more stable, and the more balanced you'll become, and the less likely you'll be to take a hard fall, get a serious fall-related injury, or be stuck on the floor. That concludes section 5 of the falling solution system, but make sure to watch bonuses 1 and 2 for all your fall prevention exercises and workouts. Bonus section 1, I've included an entire demonstration library of fall prevention exercises and techniques in all of the important categories, including strength, balance, agility and coordination, posture, and flexibility. In bonus section 2, I've taken your fall prevention exercises and put them into 3 simple and easy to follow along workouts that you can do at home. They require almost no equipment. You can do them at your own pace, on your own time. See you in bonus section 1.